On the outskirts of a small town where wildflowers danced in the wind and the air was laced with the scent of honeysuckle, stood a peculiar structure, a brilliant homage to human ingenuity and hope, nestled between towering oak trees. The building, gleaming with a metallic sheen, was known to the townsfolk as the Nexus. A rectangular edifice of glass and steel, it sparkled under the Massachusetts sun, reflecting the clouds in a vivid ballet. Inside, the Nexus was a symphony of softly humming machines, flickering lights, and the soothing coolness of air-conditioned air. It was a place where time seemed to slow, the frenetic pace of life outside melting away into the gentle hum of technology designed to defy nature's decree. Aging was merely a glitch to be programmed out of existence. For its proponents, it housed a promise wrapped in the warmth of infinity. The machine claimed it could grant eternal life. Among the thrumming machines and the ambience of whispers, two souls shared a bond, entwined far deeper than the fabric of their lives. There was Edith, an effervescent 36-year-old woman with an infectious laugh and twinkling hazel eyes that sparkled like sunlight through leaves. Though life had dealt her hardships, she wore her scars like medals, never lacking in kindness or laughter. Edith had lost her parents years before in a tragic accident that had left scars she wore well, each a reminder to forge joy amidst the pain. Her companion, Samuel, or Samus, he preferred, was a gentle giant who towered over Edith by almost a foot. With chestnut hair that curled slightly on the ends and a demeanor that radiated warmth, he had a perpetual smile that ignited comfort in the hearts of those who encountered him. Samuel, too, bore the weight of sorrow. Grappling with the loss of his younger sister to a sudden illness, the anguish had led him to forge a connection with Edith that felt uncanny in its depth, a seamless melding of shared grief and blossoming hope. Their connection had launched afresh during the few meetings at the Nexus, each exchanging their stories, laughter, and dreams of what their lives might become. It became a respite from the outside world, a delicate pocket of safety amidst steel and glass. The process of transformation they both had enrolled in felt like a dream suspended in a vapor of possibility, making clouds of their aspirations float just within reach. On this particular day, the sun poured through the ceremonial doors of the Nexus, casting a soft light over the waiting room. The air buzzed low with anxiety, hope, and the endless curiosity that swirled around them like a summer breeze. As they took their seats, Edith squeezed Sam's hand, her nails painted a vibrant green in homage to her favorite lily, a sign of their shared journey ahead. Think we'll float away into the clouds, she chuckled, leaning slightly into his shoulder as she scanned the room filled with others waiting, some apprehensive, others filled with glee. The daily ebb and flow of emotions washed across their faces, a tapestry of desires mingled with fears. Sam chuckled, his voice a gentle rumble. I bet if we could, you'd be the first to jump out and dance with the clouds. Only if you follow me up there. We could have a tea party with the sun. The spectre of laughter bubbled in a delightful rhythm around them, lessening the tension of uncertainty. For them, the journey ahead felt like walking into the embrace of a long-lost friend, both exhilarating and frightening. I just don't want to lose that. Edith sighed, her breath softening into the air around them, as she suddenly grew solemn, her fingers twisting around each other. The glee dripped from her voice, just for a moment, revealing the undercurrent of vulnerability that meshed with their euphoria. Lose what? Sam leaned in closer. This part of life where we dream and wonder, everything feels so alive. You don't have to worry about that. We'll still dream, Sam assured, reaching up to tuck a stray hair behind Edith's ear, needing close physical contact to deliver comfort like a warm cup of tea. We'll simply strengthen our dreams, you know? Make them last longer than we could ever imagine. He winked, those hearts squeezed tightly. Chests swelled and shrunk around them, others likely bearing insecurities just beneath the surface. Everyone in the room was on the precipice of an enormous decision, staring into the abyss of change they were about to embrace, a leap towards what they were told was an unimaginable precipice. They remembered the moments leading up to this journey. The symposiums that had sparked hope within their cause, the testimonials they had witnessed, people shedding the years like skin and blooming again into youthful vigor. How they dared to wonder if they could leave their past behind, if a better version of themselves awaited just on the other side of the machine. Time flowed in a ceaseless rhythm in the Nexus waiting room, the seconds echoed in soft whispers. They shared stories of their childhoods that bloomed with laughter and dreams unencumbered by the weight of life. Here, in this chamber of transition, they were free to bask in the light of friendship and camaraderie before stepping into uncertainty. Do you remember when we talked about that big pizza place you want to open? Sam leaned in, his voice conspiratorial, his eyes sparkling. Of course. Pizzas from around the world, Italian, Japanese, every culture getting a slice of the pie, exactly. You know what we can add? A pizza of the day, inspired by the dreams of people like us. His grin expanded, mischief in his eyes as he envisioned his friend as the mastermind culinary artist, concocting delicious new recipes every day. The hopeful laughter between them encased them in bubbles, creating an atmosphere that momentarily drowned out the fear that clung to the edges of their thoughts. But as time nudged forward, the room filled with the steady rhythm of gently closing doors and murmured goodbyes from others as they stepped into the unknown, each echo marking the fleeting connection they so desperately sought not to sever. It wasn't long before the nurse appeared, a woman whose presence commanded respect, her voice a melodic balance of authority and comfort. She came with a gentle smile and her green scrubs worn like a badge of hope. "Samuel and Edith," she called, her voice rising gently, wrapping around them like a soft embrace. With that summons, the air grew thicker and unspoken realization blanketing the room. This was the point of no return. Every chest tightened, hearts danced on the precipice of a deep abyss. Holding hands tightly, Edith and Sam climbed to their feet to meet the woman who beckoned them towards an unfamiliar fate. "What do you think it will be like?" Edith whispered, trying to anchor the disquiet brewing in her stomach. "The only way to find out is to follow her," Sam replied with a reassuring nod of intention. Together they headed toward the door that led deeper into the unknown, the machine awaiting them as nothing more than a mere crease in their lives before the dimension of possibility beckoned. The air around them crackled with anticipation and hope for futures stitched in a whims of uncharted territory. Between one moment and the next, the world would shift, futures would collide with promises larger than the horizon, but first they had to step through the door. Glimpses of laughter faded back behind them into the shared camaraderie of warmth, leaving echoes of courage to guide them and cradling the dreams they had planted between their hearts. Little did they know, they were not merely stepping into a machine that promised eternity, they were crossing into a heart-stopping revelation that time was a malicious master, and their lives were about to be stitched onto the canvas of an unfathomable reality, a tapestry that both glistened and darkened with secrets yet to unveil. The room beyond the beckoning door was illuminated by a gentle glow, casting soft shadows against the walls as the humming of machinery crescendoed into an orchestra of anticipation. For Edith and Sam, the world felt like it narrowed, leaving only this moment to exist in their minds, cloudy thoughts drifting like dandelions caught in a summer breeze. As they stepped across the threshold, what greeted them inside was a comforting blend of sterile clean and sublime beauty, sleek, organic lines intertwined with calming earth tones. The warmth felt like a tender embrace, suggesting a bond forged not just from wires and mechanics, but from the hopes and dreams of those who had dared enter. The nurse led them, her voice a pathway through their swirling thoughts. "Here at the Nexus, we embrace transformation as a beautiful metamorphosis," she explained, her tone smooth like honey. "Each experience is designed around your individual needs. You will be guided through a series of assessments, designed to chart not only your physical path but your emotional and psychological readiness for this extraordinary journey." With each step, Edith's heart raced, thrumming a wild rhythm through her ribcage, while Sam beside her radiated an uncanny calm. He shared her apprehension, but something deeper flickered in his eyes, the steadfast belief they could return to the surface and embrace the fullness of life once more. They entered the softly lit room adorned with artwork that spoke of past journeys, each frame holding multiple versions of people living their lives, each image vibrant and overflowing with joy. "These are stories of those who came before you," the nurse indicated, her hand gliding along the frames. "Each moment holds a whisper of resilience. You see, this process isn't merely about living longer, it's about living fully, connecting deeply, and healing the scars that time can leave behind." Edith took a moment to absorb the emotion pulsating from the photographs, feeling a sudden surge of gratitude for all the lives woven into the space. "What if we fail?" she asked gently, watching the nurse with wide eyes. The nurse's smile deepened, her voice a balm for their budding anxiety. "Every transformation may come with its trials, but every trial carries an opportunity for growth. This is an integral part of what we celebrate here at the Nexus." "Bruh," Sana echoed softly, as if tasting a word on his tongue. "Like the way flowers bloom from seeds, even after they struggle above the dirt." "Yes," the nurse said. "Just like that." The initial assessments unfolded like a beautiful mosaic, each interaction adding color and depth to their journey. Sam found himself keenly aware of Edith, her laughter mingling with his heartbeat, her presence sparking exhilaration. A simple touch of her hand while they shared stories of hopes and dreams became the vibrant brushstrokes in the canvas of their connection. Each word lifted them, pushing aside fragments of doubt that threatened to linger. They were tasked with tasks beyond the initial assessments, activities designed to create genuine connections within the community that supported these journeys. Together, they made their way to a communal space where newcomers were welcomed with stories from past residents of the Nexus. A group of eager faces filled the room, reflecting an array of emotions, stories carved on their brows: joy, loss, hesitation. Among the crowd was Miriam, her presence commanding but gentle, with silver-streaked hair elegantly pinned back and eyes that held Oceans of wisdom, she sat cradling cups of steaming herbal tea, her laughter like a shimmering bell as she encouraged a sense of belonging among those who had barely begun to navigate their futures. Why don't you all share why you're here? She suggested, her voice a warm embrace, radiating kindness as she gestured for each person to take turns speaking. Edith was the first to stand. With a soft tremor, she spoke of her parents, her gaze falling to her hands as she relayed how losing them had forced her into a perpetual cycle of remembrance and regret. A flood of emotion caught her breath, but as she spoke, she felt Sam's solid presence beside her, a safe haven amidst turbulent waves. Coming here is about more than living longer, she stated, her voice strengthening with conviction. It's about creating lasting connections and defining a new path for ourselves, so we never forget how to fully embrace life's preciousness. The room flourished with murmurs of agreement, and Sam's heart swelled with pride for Edith. He stepped forward, finding solace in their shared vulnerability. I'm here for my sister, he admitted, his voice a quiet rumble that reverberated across the gathering. She was everything to me. I lost her too soon. The tears I shed feel like traces of who I used to be. I want to heal. As Sam spoke, unexpected things began to unfold. Stories of resilience emerged, hearts began to open, and laughter bubbled joyfully from shared memories. They exchanged notes on grief, strength, and the small joys of life that could revive a flickering spirit. Strangers transformed into a family united by hope, and a deep bond began to break through the haze of uncertainty. As days turned into weeks, the shared experiences burgeoned like a garden, flourishing with laughter and warmth. Edith and Sam began organizing community drawing nights, a playful outlet for creativity while listening to music and exchanging their dreams in vibrant hues. The walls of the Nexus, decorated in grand bursts of color created by the community, became a testament to the unique stories that were spinning together. One evening, under the soft glow of fairy lights that adorned the communal garden, Edith caught Sam watching her, a crooked smile on his lips, while they painted laughter into the evening shadows. You know, for someone who was scared to be here, you've become quite the artist, he teased, inviting her to join him in a spontaneous dance, only because I have you to share it with. She laughed, twirling around while her paintbrush became a wand of color splashing against the canvas and against their spirits, lifting them into brighter realms. In moments like these, they felt the embers of connection fluttering between them, each brushstroke igniting laughter, tearing down walls they didn't know had been built. Time itself lost significance as they began to find joy beyond their striving, both in the art they created and the purpose they shared with their newfound siblings in the journey of life. One afternoon, warmth wrapped around them like honeyed sunshine. They gathered in a vibrant circle, encouraging each other to share both their past fears and their present aspirations. This was a space woven from love, a tapestry unfurling various dreams threaded with vulnerability. As Edith talked about her vision for the pizza place, she could feel the room pulse with excitement. I want it to be a welcoming space for everyone, she declared, gazing at the faces around her. A place where cultures meet and laughter fills the air. I want to start a pizza-making class and invite everyone to join, share stories, and create their own recipes based on their ancestors' traditions, their legacies. A chorus of cheers erupted in the circle, hands raised in gleeful support, but a shadow flickered across Sam's face. But how will we be able to do that if we exist outside of time? He asked softly, infusing his voice with a sense of grave curiosity. I think it's precisely because we are daring to reach for eternity that makes our legacies more vital. Edith replied, her conviction sparkling in her eyes. Time moves differently for everyone. We only have to dare to embrace our stories. Regardless of how fleeting life may feel, we'll be taking it with us. Through the heartwarming dialogues, they began to understand the true nature of their connection, the importance of grappling with life's dichotomies, holding joy tightly alongside pain. As the elation ebbed, so did the tension. The fragile undertones of uncertainty blossomed into a profound realization. Life remained precious despite the external illusions of permanence. Yet it was a meeting during the moonlit hours that left a strange gust of uneasiness swirling in the air. Edith and Sam, nestled by a bonfire surrounded by friends, exchanged stories and laughter, but as the flickering flames danced, the conversation shifted towards the machine once more. What if, Sam began, his brown in contemplation, turning our bodies into something more perfect also means we might lose something precious. His voice turned serious, and the warmth behind the fire flickered slightly as other voices fell silent. Miriam, who had seated herself near the edge of the circle, nodded thoughtfully. An important perspective. Tom. Every choice we make carries a consequence. We change not simply our bodies but perhaps our essence as well. Her gaze turned earnest. This is a liberation. Yes, but do we truly understand what we might be sacrificing in the process? I'm not sure, Edith murmured, her heart weighing heavy with the thought. It's as though the closer we get to living infinitely, the more the tangible experiences might drift away. The fire crackled, and eyes turned to the ground as whispers followed. Fears swirled like musk drawn to the flame. Each person was faced with the same intangible question. Was this evolution truly growth, or was it a delicate negotiation with fate? As the night deepened, the uncertainty lingered, threading its way into shared laughter, echoing gentle confusion through their hearts. But as dawn greeted them with soft hues of orange and gold, their resolve solidified. Silently standing together like a lovingly tended garden, they would face whatever lay ahead together. Over the following days, anticipation began to course through the air, palpable tension blended with excitement as the community prepared for an upcoming gathering that would unveil the Nexus's ambitious project, an exhibition showcasing art, stories, and dreams, all the reflections of those who inhabited this second chance. In murmured tones and gentle laughter, resolve brewed amongst them. They would honor not just the journey towards eternity, but also the shared connections and dreams that intertwined through their lives. With each brushstroke and shared word, they began crafting their outing a home that would become a multicolored tapestry celebrating life in its most profound form. Yet amid these warm, joyous moments, the unease threaded through the conversations would not be forgotten, lingering like a shadow beneath the vibrant colors blooming in their hearts. Soon, they would collectively face a decision worth pondering, etched in time itself. All they could do was embrace the moments and love harder. Their vibrant tapestries were interwoven with both laughter and the beauty of shared understanding and emotional cord tethering friend to friend, heart to heart. The day of the exhibition arrived, and with it came a wave of excitement thrumming in the air. Ideas came alive under swirling brushstrokes and collages, a constellation that bound them together, a testament of their shared humanity. Guests from within and beyond the Nexus arrived, blending souls together, weaving stories back into the fabric of life. Through the joyous murmur of voices, celebration mingled with an underlying tension. Each soul was delicately balancing the weight of hope and fragility of uncertainty. Under the torches lining the beautiful courtyard, the past collided with futures unknown, and willingly, they embraced every heartbeat. Standing beside one another as they flourished among brilliant minds, Sam and Edith felt their connection deepen, words exchanged in shared glances, in laughter ringing freely like the shimmer of joy laid upon the starry skies. But a weight slowly coiled, hanging just above the turning leaves around them, an impending reality. They could feel the stakes of their choice drawing near as anticipation turned into silent carry of gravity, stretching between themselves and the inevitable transformation that awaited them just around the corner. Edith stood with Sam, fingers intertwined, ready to embrace the unfolding festival of deeper emotions and dreams yet to be realized, but in the corners of their minds shadows danced. Together they dared to leap, revealing their seasoned hearts beneath layers of paint, texture, and the ephemeral mysteries that life had unfolded before them. But as they began to weave their stories together with the challenging realities of their choice, the gentle tension in the background heightened, hinting at a fragile balance on the edge of what lay ahead. While the beauty of this day held promise, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were also standing on the precipice of uncertainty, poised to dive into the unknown. As the moon shone brightly overhead, illuminating their gathering and hearts laid bare, the question lingered in the air like a whisper, a promise yet to be unlocked. Would they emerge on the other side transformed not just in body but in spirit, soul, and an understanding of what it truly meant to share a life together? The spirit of the Nexus hummed beneath their feet, drawing them closer to their shared destiny. And in each laugh, each unbroken moment shared, they grasped tightly to the resolve to face whatever lay ahead, while keeping their guard against the cloak of shadow that had snuck quietly behind, waiting to reveal itself further down the road. As the exhibition continued to flourish under the moon's tender gaze, the courtyard transformed into a vibrant arena of stories, dreams, and connections. Guests mingled and shared laughter, bridging gaps between lives once untouched by one another. Lights twinkled overhead as they danced on the edges of thoughtful installations that sang of grief and resilience, of loss and hope. Their colors imbued the night with warmth, each vibrant brushstroke speaking to the profound journey that had woven these souls into a family united by purpose. Among the exhibits stood a collage curated by Edith, a heartfelt tribute to her parents, a mosaic of their lives filled with captured memories, photographs, and notes reflecting their joys and struggles. The centerpiece was adorned with a vibrant sunflower painting, a bloom rising defiantly among storms, a metaphor for her experience, and an invitation for others to share their stories too. A handmade sign anchored the piece, echoing her essence. In the shadows, we learned to rise. Every glance upon it illuminated familiar expressions resonating with shared grief. The collage pulled forth some from the edges of the crowd, like iron filings drawn to a magnet, each lingering on the bittersweet nostalgia that drifted through the air. "I lost my father last year," one guest confided, standing beside Edith. His voice broke slightly, the vulnerability sparking a flame of connection between them. "I wish he could see how the world blooms, how we can love even amidst the pain. Your piece is beautiful." "Thank you," she replied, her heart swelling with warmth as she turned to meet his eyes. Grief has a way of reminding us life is beautiful. I think we're all just learning how to embrace that beauty. As the night progressed, Edith felt the connections forming around her. The stories exchanged shared threads of humanity that reaffirmed vitality and purpose. It was a testament to the spirit of resilience and growth that pulsed within the courtyard, each individual now a vibrant flower sprouting from the repaired soil of their hearts. Amidst these interactions, Sam stood leaning against the open door of a makeshift gallery booth, surveying the flow of stories unraveling around him, and gazing at Edith with pride. She had become a living tapestry woven from hope and history, breathing color into a shared vision that was clear as crystal. His heart squeezed at how bravely she embraced these connections, pulling brave souls together through shadows and sunlight alike. He recalled their conversations about fear and hope, about uncertainty before destiny unwound in unexpected ways. And just as he thought of it, Miriam approached him, a wide smile dancing on her lips. He found something special in her, she remarked, typically intuitive as she placed a gentle hand on his elbow. You both have grown immensely during your journey here. Sam nodded, the weight settling against his heart. I know that, but it's more than just growing. It's the impact we're forging, bonds with people that I didn't even know I needed. There's a sense of community rippling through us, like the warmth of a family, Tindy, Miriam mused. In our shared journeys, we create a community that will support your growth beyond the walls of the Nexus. Never underestimate the power of love and company. Her words spiraled into Sam's heart, wrapping around him like a comforting blanket as he mulled over the weight and warmth found in their bond, lifting a part of his past to allow more light in. Through laughter shared, both with Edith and those touched by the collective journey, he felt the longing for connection blossom into something beautiful. They were faces not just signs and grief, but kindred spirits sought to heal alongside each other. Thoughts simmered as the energy shifted slightly, and another group welcomed Edith to share stories of love and warmth. It amazed her how easy it was to share her experiences among these vibrant individuals, how layers of vulnerability slipped away, replaced by the camaraderie that had grown roots with every shared moment. Hours drifted, and with the approach of ripe night, they wrapped up the exhibition reveal with warm hugs and joyous exchanges. It felt as if time had folded itself into nests of hope and remembrance. But beneath the surface, nickels of tension arose once more. The upcoming transition into the machine loomed ahead, fragile and unforgiving, threatening to pull them apart from all they had just woven together. Edith and Sam shared poignant glances that spoke of their hopes to walk toward a brighter version of themselves together. As the laugh ebbed and the hum of humanity seemed to settle into cozy daily rhythms, they realized they had to address what whispered between their hearts. In the following days after the exhibition, the Nexus was alive with a spirit resonating like a budding symphony, each moment reverberating with excitement as the community flourished toward the lingering choice they faced. All around the familiar halls of the Nexus, conversations heightened, plans unfolded, laughter crescendoed. They had each committed to take their final leap into the unknown, but now, uncertainty tightened its grasp upon them like a knot at the pit of their stomachs. Edith stood beside Sam as they approached the machine that loomed larger than life. Its sleek lines and inventive design gleamed under the bright lights. It felt surreal, almost ethereal. The whispered promises from the symposium of the world beyond murmured through their memories, carrying the tales of those who had dared reach beyond their human limits. Yet, above the quiet hum of technology, they felt the chill that hung in the air, fear tightly woven into the fabric of hope. They stood together, hand in hand, a testament to love that had flourished amidst darkness, a love nurtured by shared journeys and stories. They could no longer ignore their growing sense of unease. What if we lose ourselves in there? Edith finally voiced, her face turned slightly towards Sam. What if we become something different? What happens to all these connections we've built when we step into whatever waits on the other side? Sam felt the weight of her words strike at the edges of his heart. He could almost visualize the anguish that echoed through the corridors and began to see the uncertainty reflected in the faces around them. These were individuals who had woven their stories together, sought solace in shared laughter and tears, standing on the threshold of an irrevocable decision to dive into the depths of the unknown for a second chance at life, or to remain rooted, embracing the connections they had sown. Maybe that's the point, he said softly, trying to gauge the magic of the moment. This machine isn't just a step toward eternity. It's also about the journeys we share alongside each other. It's about facing something great together rather than seeking to journey it alone. She looked deep into Sam's eyes, searching for reassurance, and he pressed her hand tighter in his own. They were steps away from crossing a threshold that would not only change their own lives, but also affect the beautiful community they had nurtured. Whatever we are on the other side, we will remain true to what we built here, she asserted, relief coursing through her veins. She took a deep breath, pulling courage from the heart of their bond as she contemplated their life together beyond the machine. And if it pulls us apart, We'll find a way back. I want to believe in the people we've become. We're not alone, Sam. We'll awaken together. A resolute determination swirled around. Then both felt the electricity of hope burst in their chests. The choice was multifaceted, and it was becoming clearer. With a final glance at the vibrant souls woven into the nexus, softly illuminated against the dark night, they squared their shoulders together. They shared a promise through their eyes that they would stand together in the face of the challenge ahead, even if it demanded sacrifices from them. One by one, they all began to understand that this was a moment to embrace the unknown, to marry the possibilities with each thread of connection so delicately spun. Each heart began to pulse with palpable energy as they unified their courage, holding the weight of love that had nestled into their chest. As they entered the machine, a sense of warmth enveloped them. It felt alive, almost breathing, sighing from the stories it had already held. Sam and Edith tightened their grips, hearts interconnected like the swirling galaxies above them, reassuring each other that together they were ready to take the plunge. The machine hummed to life, wires vibrating like the tendrils of a blooming flower reaches to the sun, and together they stepped forward, enveloped by an gentle lights that began to dance all around them. The world shifted, a heartbeat within the unknown, while laughter echoed in their minds, the hope embedded deeply in their souls. Whatever happens, Edith, I'm here, Sam murmured, instinctively leaning closer, as their hearts intertwined, binding them to the moment. In that surreal moment, the machine cocooned them in warmth as visions of growth unfurled near and far, a ballet of memories whispered among dreams, launching them into an ethereal journey of sensation, light, and soft laughter. There, they transmuted into something more integral, and interwoven a dance of humanity amalgamating into existence. As a kaleidoscope slid open before them with the vision of their future unfurling in breathtaking hues, they stared with awe, voices thrumming with anticipation. Were they anchored to the souls they were, or slid through time into eternity? The questions tugged at their hearts, yet intertwined together by love, they surged forward, embracing the future with open arms. The plunge was swift, and as they cascaded through dimensions, emotions swirled, a maelstrom of laughter, tears, and undying connections revealed before them. Were they losing themselves, or rather, becoming one with each other, expanding into new realms of understanding and possibility? Then, as waves of emotions surged, the world around them began to illuminate with a soft glow, swirling into forms that felt familiar. Shapes emerged, vibrant faces, radiating warmth and grace. The faces unveiled before them were not lost ones frosted by time, but belonging, form-connected, and luminous loved ones whom they had cherished and lost. Edith found her parents smiling brightly at her, while Sam saw the spirit of his little sister twirling with laughter, tender moments whispering truths spun from time. Welcome back, their spectres called, their voices mingling with echoes of laughter, wrapping around each heart with warmth. Beneath swirling dusk, layers of memory wove joy back into the fabric of their souls as they embraced them. Realization that the experiences they carried would never falter, the laughter, the growth, they would never silently lose sight of those who had shaped them. Together they began to dance, their hearts gliding through a realm illuminated with possibilities and shared love, as they joined what felt like a timeless celebration, a tapestry of souls woven together by shared hardships and immense joy. In this space, the warmth of connection seemed boundless. They reached forward, fingers trailing through laughter, experiences merging like flowers blooming into the cosmos. Plan-laid dreams. Seamlessly as they began to walk through moments built not in isolation, but forged in art. They could be who they were meant to be, with laughter echoing around them, friends wrapped tightly in the butterflies of hope floating higher and higher, closer to the heart of eternity. As their laughter intertwined, Sam turned to Edith with a smile that seemed to radiate light itself within the depths of their shared existence. Look, they're projecting our dreams. Indeed, around them, the visions grew wild and free, blossoming through layers of colors that stretched into infinity, unfolding stories that encapsulated growth, kindness, and the beauty of community they had built. The walls of the vague little nexus morphed into a celebration of humanity, overflowing with joys that uplifted them all. As they ventured across this newfound realm, embraced by a profound sense of belonging, they gazed into the horizon of light bursting forth, sweeping toward adventures entwined with laughter. The breath of dreams knitted them back into their lives, revived into kind hearts bold enough to share their stories, their love, unearthing strength even in moments straddled between light and shadow. And while the background shifted endlessly, the essence of who they were stood unwavering light and laughter bound them together, stitching the vibrant tapestry of life defined not just through existence, but through the connections they bravely forged along the way. Amidst the ever-expanding tapestry, they felt alive, wrapped in unconditional regards and celebrate sentiments that sealed their fates. As they discovered the power of community ripple through time, they understood the machine had not erased their essence, it had amplified it, echoing infinitely onward. In that sacred communion of souls, they danced free, spirit woven into eternity, beckoning all those who dared come forward to embrace their true potential, so very alive again. Through love, laughter, and the art of connection, they flourished together with hearts blooming alongside one another, each reassuring the other that even in darkness, light could find its way through. Brief dance with joy and the most intricate spectrum of colors glistened among them. With memories etched into forever that could not simply fade, they soared higher and higher, hands clasped in one another's warmth. Bound forever by those promises forged between broken dreams and bustling laughter, shamelessly written into brilliant new stories, a legacy that would shine brightly across dimensions, forever nurtured by each heartbeat. As the spirals of light enveloped them and dawn broke softly in their hearts, they realized they had become more than just survivors. They were ignacious spirits, intertwined with family amongst a community that had learned to embrace their journeys as they evolved into the vibrant, exquisite tapestry of life itself. Together they thrived. Together they learned. Together they lived.